Women do not respect nice guys. And in this video, I'm going to tell you a bit of a story of mine about what I went through and how I learned this the hard way. And just to clarify, mate, I'm not talking, when I say nice guy, I'm not talking about a man who is kind. Kindness is powerful. Kindness is wholehearted. Kindness is coming from a good place. When I say nice, when I say a nice guy, I'm talking about a man who is essentially using niceness in a kind of fake way, although he may not realize it, in order to have and to get some unconscious hidden agenda met. Right? He's using niceness to meet his own personal needs, and he's not aware of it. And that need usually is, I want you to like me. I want you to approve of me. I want you to meet my needs. And the idea is, if I'm just nice enough, you will meet all of my needs without me having to ask for them. That's essentially what niceness is. And it's not your fault if you're like this. It's actually a childhood survival strategy that you learned when you were very young. And that was the case for me. But before I tell you my story on this one, mate, if you've never been to this channel before, my name is Oliver. I'm a coach, I'm a writer, and I occasionally lead retreats for men. And my whole mission is to help men conquer people-pleasing, conquer nice guy syndrome, become confident, be assertive, set boundaries, and live a life on their terms. So back in 2017, I'm at a music festival in Romania. We're at a place called Constanța in Romania, and it's a week-long hippie festival by the beach. And it would be really beautiful because the sun's out, the music's amazing, it was a really good festival. But that wasn't my experience. I was, at this festival, hyper anxious. I was hyper needy. Me and my girlfriend were clashing constantly. I was constantly feeling these jealous feelings all the time around her. And essentially the whole festival was pretty much ruined because of the dynamic between me and my girlfriend. And this was even worse because at the festival, we actually linked up with another couple, a bloke and his girlfriend. And this guy pretty much highlighted, just with his presence, with who he was, all of the inadequacies that I was experiencing at the time. He was strong, he was confident, he was assertive, he knew who he was, he had interests and passions. At the festival, I could tell with the way he communicated with his girlfriend, he had a bunch of things that he wanted to do, and she was loving it. She was kind of along for the ride, and he was essentially leading the dynamic. Contrast that with my dynamic. I was basically like a boy following his mum around at the festival. But it all came to a head when, after one sort of argument that we had, I could tell that my girlfriend was attracted to the guy, which was an even bigger kick in the balls. It was highly emasculating. And at some point she turned around and said to me, Oliver, I feel like the man in this relationship. Now, you can get into the weeds as to what that means and you can pick that apart and all this other stuff. But the truth is, I felt the intention behind that and I felt the truth in her words. In that moment, I didn't feel that she was doing it to hurt me. I didn't feel like she was throwing something at me. I felt like she was just trying to communicate a truth that she felt in the way that she knew how. And I received it. And I knew it deep down. It wasn't until many years later when that relationship ended and I started really doing the recovery, the nice guy recovery work on myself, that I was able to look back at that dynamic, at that festival, and realise a bunch of things that I was doing wrong, a bunch of ways that I was acting from a wounded place. Okay, I've got compassion for myself, and so should you if you can relate to this. But the truth is, the hard truth that I'm going to share with you, I'm going to share a few hard truths with you that I learned through that experience, so that hopefully you can learn from my mistakes essentially. So what are they? So the first truth, the first reason, if we zoom out, that women don't respect nice guys is because, number one, they are fundamentally needy. When a man is needy towards a woman in a relationship, this sets up a very, very toxic dynamic that kills attraction and kills respect. And that dynamic I'm talking about is essentially a mother-child dynamic. You know how a moment ago I said at the festival I was basically a boy following his mum around, resentfully, kind of being told what to do, etc. This kills the attraction for a very, very simple reason. What emotionally healthy woman wants to sleep with a boy, with a man who she doesn't respect, with a man who she sees as a child? Me being hyper needy set up that dynamic. So instead of her being an individual, me being an individual, and us both being strong in that I had no frame. I had a very weak reality, and my whole reality was all about her. So the mistake I was making is that all of my self-worth came from her reactions to me. And that's essentially what existentially a nice guy lives as. A nice guy struggles with a sense of identity. A nice guy cannot validate himself. A nice guy's emotional world, emotional peace, emotional happiness is essentially all governed by the approval from other people. And this is heightened in relationships in the way that it was for me. And the second reason that women don't respect nice guys is that they fundamentally lack courage. See, here's the thing. I believe attraction is primal. Attraction is something that's been shaped over hundreds of thousands of years. And one of the aspects of this, one of many aspects, it's not simple, it's quite complex, but one of the aspects is protection. If she can't feel that you can stand up to her, then how could you possibly stand up for her? The point is, I lacked courage because there was tons of ways that she was communicating with me that I didn't like, but I wasn't communicating any of those. I wasn't setting healthy boundaries. I wasn't telling the truth. I wasn't setting personal standards. I was just wishy-washy and flowy. And how can she realistically respect a man who doesn't fundamentally respect himself? And the funny thing was, at the festival, there was a couple of occasions when I, just by accident, communicated in a powerful way. Usually after I'd done like a workshop. I did like a play fighting workshop, and I did a masculinity workshop. And just for like 15 minutes after those workshops, I felt I was in my masculine core, and I communicated from that space, and her reaction changed quite considerably. But then the nice guy programming took over, and then that was short-lived essentially. The third thing I realized is that nice guys, the reason why women don't respect nice guys is because they have a hidden agenda. You see, here's the thing about attraction. A woman cannot fully relax into her feminine. She can't fully relax into feeling in her body and feeling comfortable enough to want to get physical and to be fully with you, fully present with you, if she doesn't feel safe. And a man who is being a nice guy is essentially manipulative, because there's a bunch of needs that a nice guy is trying to get met that he's not actually communicating. He has a hidden agenda. That was entirely the case for me. I thought to myself on this, like if I could look back and actually articulate what I was trying to do, it was, if I'm just this nice guy, if I'm meeting all of her needs, then she'll approve of me. And that was what we call a covert contract. It was an unspoken arrangement that she wasn't even aware of, that I was engaging in. And I truly believe on some very, very deep level that a woman can sense this in a man, as if he's not being truthful. I truly wasn't the man that I was presenting myself as. And on some level, she recognized it. And this caused her to kind of tense up and be defensive around me. She couldn't fully surrender, which makes complete sense. And the fourth thing I realized is that essentially nice guys do not lead. Now, when I say leadership, relational leadership in a relationship context, I'm not talking about being a dictator. I'm not talking about being a misogynistic, chauvinistic person who just tells a woman what to do. A lot of nice guys, because they've repressed their masculine energy, maybe when they were younger, a lot of nice guys got told, either directly or indirectly, that being masculine or being a man is a bad thing. That leads to a man repressing the healthy leadership aspects that emotionally healthy women tend to appreciate. So I wasn't leading because I repressed my own masculine energy completely, which means that she was then forced, not by choice, but by necessity, into her masculine energy. And she was a feminine woman at her core. And she didn't want to be in a masculine energy, but she was now around a boy who avoided taking any responsibility, making any decisions, and naturally she would get resentful about this. Because she was at a festival, she was there to enjoy herself. But now she was being forced into this role where she had to be the kind of, she had to basically be at work again, arranging everything, taking care of this guy. So when nice guys abdicate leadership, this is not serving anybody. It's not serving him, and it's not serving her. And this is one of the reasons why fundamentally women don't respect nice guys, is because they are not taking responsibility for the situation, and they are not stepping into healthy masculine leadership. If you are interested in shedding the nice guy programming, stepping into this healthy, confident, masculine leader that you know you can be, then click the link in the pinned comment down below, mate. I'm currently accepting 2 one-to-one spaces for April. Jump on that. and I'll see you in the next video. Stay courageous.